welcome to a brand new week on Jasiri. It's Monday, a fresh start, a clean slate, and another opportunity to ask bold questions, challenge the status quo, and spotlight the issues that matter most to you. Now, whether you're getting ready for work, settling into your day, or just need that morning spark, we've got you. From the heart of the cities to the corners of our communities, Jasiri is where fearless conversations come alive. So grab your coffee, tea, your water, your agbo, your ogi, your whatever it is, because we're kicking off the week with purpose, power, and plenty of heart. I had to add that because not everybody does tea or coffee, ladies. Yeah. You know, so let's keep it like me. Let's keep it local. Yeah. You do pap. Yeah, I do natural tea or whatever. We were going to ask about the weekend, but in all honesty, there's a lot happening right now. Blessings.
And speaking of a lot happening, now we want to touch base with News Central's correspondent Omoni Igbalani, who is covering a march by the Take It Back movement in Ikeja, Lagos. Now, the Take It Back movement is a different variation from the End Bad Governance movement, but it's still a movement. So let's talk to Nee now. Nee, good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes, good morning. I can hear you.
All right, Nee, so we're seeing the visuals on, and we know that a lot is going on. There are a number of these marches happening right now. Just before we get to our first question, we do have to let the audience know that we are also covering the march in Abuja, and our correspondent Sagir Ibrahim has reported that police are firing tear gas canisters in Abuja. We hope to get you those visuals very soon, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to Sagir. But Nee, give us an update of what the situation is with you. You are, of course, I think the march started from under bridge in Ikeja. Earlier on, the numbers weren't looking so good, but it seems to have changed now. Nee, give us an update.
All right. So I'm here with one of the organizers. I'll quickly take a speech, then I'll give us an assessment. Sorry, sir. Sorry to cut you live. Quickly, let's distinguish. There's some people said you'll Take It Back movement. Some say you are the End Bad Governance movement. Can you please quickly clarify we are live now?
Okay. Well, as you know, the Take It Back movement was very central to the call and organizing of End Bad Governance nationwide. As a matter of fact, we participated and organized across 24 states, including the diaspora. Yes, sir. So when we say we are conveners of End Bad Governance protests, this is correct.
Are you in any way linked to Revolution Now? Because I see the color of your beret. Yeah.
Yes. We were the one who called for Revolution Now in 2019. Yeah. And our demands have not changed. We were the one who organized, centrally mobilized Nigerians nationwide for the NSAS protests 2017, 2019, and effectively 2020.
All right. So quickly, what are your demands now, and what do you hope to achieve in summary?
Yes. Number one, we are calling for the immediate repeal of the Cybercrime Act. As a matter of fact, we are calling for the end of the use of the Cybercrime Act to attack journalists and critics, activists, opposition leaders, social media users. We are calling for the end of the use of Cybercrime Act to repress free speech. Oh, yes, we are calling for the immediate reversal of the military rule that the president have imposed in Rivers State. We are calling for the end to the ongoing demolitions across the country. You will see residents of Oronshoki are also here. Thousands of them have been displaced by the government of Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu. Look at, see, some of us are not perturbed by the intra-class war between Governor Sanwo-Olu and Tinubu, because on the question of demolition of houses of common people, of poor people, they are united. And at this point, we are fighting them collectively on these issues.
So quickly, if you don't get any respite for these issues you're raising right now, what's going to be the next step? For how long?
For as long as our demands are not met. Listen, before we did August last year, we came out on June 12th. Kulu, one house, please. Before we did August, we came out, as a matter of fact, let me date it back. We did Revolution Now. Nationwide, over 60 of our comrades were arrested, but we were on the third. That was in August 5, 2019. But we did not stop. Right? We protested all through from August till December. We did not stop. In October in 2020, we protested nationwide in October 1, protesting against hunger, starvation in the country, bad governance in the country. And that was after the NLC and TUC called off an earlier protest that was scheduled for September 20th. We came out on October 1, 2020. Our protest in October 1, 2020 ignited what we had afterwards in NSAS in October, that started in October 6, 2020.
So what you are saying in essence that you won't stop?
We won't stop. We won't stop. From June, so we won't stop. June 12th, we started with End Bad Governance on June 12th. We continued in August. We protested in October 2024, and now we are on the street. And we are going to keep protesting. As a matter of fact, we did June 12th as a warning protest. The government thinks we were joking. Then we did End Bad Governance in 2024. Now we are starting in 2025. What month are we? We are in April. If this is a warning action. Should the government of Tinubu not immediately accede to our demands? Number one, repeal the Cybercrime Act of 2024, end the military rule in Rivers State, and stop the ongoing demolition in Owonshoki and other parts of the country. We will be out stronger. And this time, you know the last time we did 10 days non-stop. When we are going to come out again, it is going to be a luta infinito.
Thank you very much. You've heard it from one of the organizers of the Take It Back movement in Lagos here, Juwon Sonyaolu. I would just like to quickly give you a view of what you can see here. Although traffic is ongoing on this side of my wing because they had to let the protesters stay on one side so that economic activities wouldn't be deterred. But as you can see behind me here, there's a handful of them. It started quite slow this morning. A few of them were not around at the time they were supposed to converge, which was 7 a.m. But as it passed 9, we saw a few of them trickling in. And of course, we have this sizable number now. And their demands are just simple. The Cybercrime Act reviewed, the state of emergency in River State reversed, and of course the last one, sorry, it went off the top of my head right now, but it's quite a lot.
It's the demolition.
If this is not, if their demands are not conceded to, they will continue their luta.
All right, Nee, thank you so much. Omani Igbalani for joining us right now. We want to move to Abuja very quickly as well because this march is also taking place in Nigeria's federal capital as well. We'll get Sagir Ibrahim on in just a moment, but they said that they were going to go from a luta continua to a luta infinito. What are we making? What are we making of their demands?
I'm trying to wrap my head around everything that they say they want. I think the one that jumps at me the most is the demolitions that are happening all across Lagos. Maybe they might be able to get some kind of clarity because I see that demolitions are indeed happening in different parts of Lagos. You see a lot of demolitions happening, government taking over. I even think recently, I think it was on the day of that terrible traffic jam that I did notice that the police cantonment or the residence of the police in Falomo has been demolished.
Okay, yes, you can see it from the bridge.
Yes,
cleared out.
It was the first time I was seeing it from the bridge. I'm like, what happened here? And they said, oh, that the government have, demolished, and allegedly I heard that they said, oh, they've given them like 2.5 million each to go and sort themselves out. And I'm wondering, in Lagos, where would you get a 2.5 million naira house to be able to put your families in? That means you're looking for like a 2-bedroom in the suburbs of Lagos, like maybe Yanopaja.
And that's one of 2.5. That's once.
That's what I said.
What happens the next year or the year after that?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we have Sagir Ibrahim with us right now. He is in Abuja. And we heard just moments ago that the police were firing tear gas canisters at protesters, or at marchers rather, who had, of course, confirmed their presence at the march. That's the visual you have right there. It's a kind of different conversation. it's a kind of different conversation now because with Abuja being the federal capital territory, the federal capital of Nigeria, it's a very interesting one. So another thing that we need to take into consideration is the statement that came from the police yesterday. Now, in terms of the police statements, what we heard was that and this is coming from Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The force had raised questions about the planned marches by the Take It Back movement. And Olumuyiwa Adejobi said that, quote, while not against the exercise of citizens' right to peaceful assembly and association in Nigeria, as enshrined in the Constitution, the Nigeria Police Force is deeply concerned about the motive behind such protests scheduled on the same day as the contributions of the Nigeria Police Force to national security is to be celebrated. So today has now been decided as Monday, April the 7th, for the day in which is going to be known as Nigeria Police Day. So he said that the Nigeria Police Force is deeply concerned about the motive behind such protests scheduled on the same day the contributions of the Nigeria Police Force to national security is to be celebrated, putting into consideration that such a glamorous event would bring together dignitaries from all spheres of life, both internationally and within the country, including foreign inspectors, general of police, and diplomats, end quote. He went on to question the rationale behind staging a nationwide protest on the same day, and that this could be deceived as a deliberate attempt and unpatriotic act that is capable of, quote, rubbishing and maligning the image of the Nigeria police and the nation as a whole. They asked the organizers to postpone the protest, describing it as ill-timed and mischievous. Just hold your thoughts. Let's go ahead and take that break. Hopefully we'll have Sagir Ibrahim to quickly touch base with him in Abuja, and then we continue with the show. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We're going to get into a conversation in just a moment. And this conversation you'll love if you love News Central, which I know you all do. But right before that, we do have issues of national interest to deal with. We've spoken to Rosemary Egabor-Afolahan, News Central's correspondent, who was here in Ikeja for the Take It Back movement march. Now let's go to Abuja, where we'll be talking to Sagir Ibrahim. He's also one of News Central's correspondent, who's also covering the march in the Federal Capital Territory. Sagir, good morning. I think the first question I'll ask you is, are you safe? Because we can see the visuals of the tear gas being fired and the people were scampering for safety. Right now, Sagir, please confirm to us that you are safe.
Good morning, Tolu. Good morning to the entire Jasiri team. Interesting morning indeed. I can confirm to you indeed, yes, that I am safe. I'm standing just in front of, as a matter of fact, the checkpoint that was cordoned off by men of the Nigerian Police Force to prevent the movement of the would-be demonstrators into this axis. But interestingly, they actually came in company, of course, of Omoyele Sowore, the convener of the Revolution Now movement, and also human rights lawyer Deji Adeyonju. They were here for a brief moment. The police had actually allowed, them to carry on with the demonstrations without any form of interference. But that was in the beginning. You saw the shots that I sent of reinforcements coming in, police vehicle, armored personnel carriers carrying police officers came in. Subsequently, it was men of the Nigerian army. We saw their van numbering up to 4-5 coming as well, and they cordoned off somewhere in front, just close to the Unity Fountain and in front of the Transcorp heating. When that happened, that was sort of like a signal for us that something might be about to go down. After that happened, they were still somewhere around here, very close to the checkpoints, when the demonstrators were still on with their demonstrations, and then they fired the first round of the tear gas canisters. It was initially not really something to be worried about. Yes, I can hear you, Tolu.
Sagir, I'm a bit confused. Before this tear gas was fired, was there any form of violence, or what changed? Was there any dynamic changing that could have made the police to fire tear gas into the midst of the protesters?
Okay, so Lolo, initially there was a conversation between the policemen here present and the demonstrators. Of course, they were led by, like I said earlier, Omoyele Sowore and human rights lawyer Deji Adeyonju. They conversed with the police officer in charge at the checkpoint here. It didn't seem like there was any issues because the police officers had allowed for the demonstration to go on as usual. Now, the demonstrators started to chant songs like the IGP must go, saying certain words, condemning the government of the day, demanding for revolution now, and the likes of that. I would not say the demonstrators directly provoked the police officers. we just saw the tear gas canisters coming out. As a matter of fact, I think there's sort of a memorabilia here. If you look towards this axis, you will see what's left of a tear gas canister shell. I don't know if you can see the tear gas canister shell as it is. This seems to be what remains of one of the tear gas canisters that was fired by the police officers. As you would see in subsequent videos, the demonstrators had to scamper for safety, including Omoyele Sowore himself, who ran into the hotel, and then the police started with their rounds of arrest. I saw them arrest quite a number of individuals, and that's been the case here in Abuja.
All right, so just very quickly, is the march continuing? Because right now you said there is a checkpoint, so is everybody completely scattered now, or is there a conversation about regrouping somewhere else? Let's know what's going to happen later on in Abuja.
Well, at the moment, it was swift, it was fast, the deployment of the tear gas canisters. So there was really no opportunity to plan and regroup elsewhere. Perhaps if there's going to be one, most likely it's not going to be happening here, probably another place, because like I mentioned, the police has started rounds of arrest. I saw them, of course, arrest a popular activist, as we all know, Flag Boy, the guy who usually carries the Nigerian flag adorned in green and white. He was arrested. I think I also saw them arrest another individual, but I'm not sure who that person is. So at the moment, even if they would regroup, we would have to touch base with the organizers of the demonstrators to know where that is going to take, and then we can follow up from there. But as at the moment, it's just the usual traffic with police officers, directing the flow of the traffic, to ensure that there's no breakdown of law and order. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Sagir, thank you so much. We will touch base with you throughout the course of the day as this develops. Thank you. So let me just, today is a day of protest. We will not be able to, unfortunately, go to Rivers State at this time, but I can tell you right now that there is a protest happening in Rivers State. It's the Rivers State Bring Back Governor Similaye Fubara protest that's also happening in Rivers State right now. We have our correspondent, Biola Festa. She is currently on that. So I know that at 12 o'clock when you're watching News Central now, you're going to have the latest from all this across the country. We have a correspondent in Borno who has said that there's no protest there, as it appears that people are going about their regular daily activities. Also told about a situation happening in Warri State as well, where there was a communal clash that led to the burning of a house this morning. Austin, our correspondent Austin, is also standing by for that. So it's Monday, April the 7th is likely going to go down in Nigerian history.
Honestly, I'm wondering, everybody woke up to protest today. But I'm just wondering that in the spirit of fairness and seem to be openly showing solidarity, it's like sometimes I'm wondering what the police force really wants. You say the citizens have a right to peacefully gather, to gather themselves and, do, it's their right. It's in the Constitution. They have every right to peaceful gathering. But when they now gather and there is no form of violence. It's not like they're carrying guns or they're carrying sticks or there's no form of violence.
Agitation.
No agitation. Even if they were chanting. Chanting is just words. It's not like the words that come out of their mouth are turning to bullets that is harming them. For you to fire a tear gas into the midst of peaceful protesters, I'm just wondering, that was why I asked Sagir that question, that was there any antagonizing
that precipitated it?
That precipitated it or made them like, oh, they're going to cause the breakdown of law and order here. So if nothing like that is happening, this show of force, is that not too aggressive?
Isn't it also interesting the show of force is in Abuja, it's not in Ikeja, it's not in Lagos. But again, that may also be, Blessings, that may also be because of the events that is scheduled to happen today. But I want to go to something that the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said in his statement. And he said that the protests or the marches were capable of, quote, I'm quoting, rubbishing and maligning the image of the Nigeria police and the nation as a whole. And that's end quote. And I often, we talk about lack of self-awareness and consciousness, but it's not the people. It's not people who are marching with their constitutional rights that are maligning and rubbishing Nigeria. We can barely go a week or 2 or 3 days in this country without them doing a headline of something that the police are doing wrong. If you're looking for who is rubbishing and maligning the image of the Nigerian police,
check the black uniform and the wearers of it.
You need to point those fingers back to
Back to
yourself.
you.
And look at how your men and women, or the men, as they say, of the Nigerian. No,
this
when
is
you
a
point one finger, or three, not four.
Pointing back at you.
It's
Look
so
at that.
unfortunate because we don't learn. When you hear their excuses for doing things now, you say they're defending the honor of the police force or the honor of those in governance. But at the end of the day, if we look back at all the protests that have ended up violent, it's because of their reactions to the actions of the people, which are legitimate. The people have the right to come outside and protest. But then, for some reason, you become violent. You start, throwing out tear gas. There's only so much that people can take, and before you know it, it backfires, and then it becomes violent.
Imagine if
and you're now asking who ordered the shooting.
And it's not just about them sometimes precipitating or being a trigger. It often is what we hear being told that, oh, you can't have this much because guess what? We're getting reports that some people want to come and scuttle the march. So what is your job as the police?
I was going to ask Tolu that, are the police, maybe I don't know much about what their duties are they not supposed to protect lives and security of citizens
regardless of whether or not
Nigeria?
those people are in favor of an
Because
administration
they are supposed
or
to
even
even
you.
be at every protest, making sure that miscreants and hoodlums do not hijack what is supposed to be a peaceful protest. At this rate, this is like trying to gag the citizens, hold their hands and tie it to the back so that they cannot even speak for themselves.
It's only the citizens that
this
speak
is
against.
not a dictatorship. We're not even in a military regime. This is a civilian regime. And fortunately for us, our president is not an alien.
But he's not a stranger to protest.
He's not a stranger to
He's
it.
not a stranger to
In his
protest.
heydays, when he was still an activist, he was at the forefront of a lot of protests in the past.
Yeah.
So it should not be something that would be something that he would no longer subscribe to or support. As long as there is no violence and it is peaceful, anybody can decide. I can go to the front of State House now and sit down there and say, I would not leave until this is met. Everybody has a right, as long as I'm not there with a gun or anything that can cause violence. If it becomes a movement, fair and square. But this one that they are doing this to well-meaning citizens of the country. So what are you saying in essence? That we are in a sort of regime that you cannot speak, you cannot act, you cannot push back. Is that what it will become?
It's a question I think many of us have to answer, as well as the president, who is on I believe it's a 2-week
Is he in Paris?
working visit to Paris.
Sorry, you should have, Catherine will miss you.
We're going to, Catherine can help us decide.
She would just have said, le président du Paris
to
arriver.
working visit. But we're going to take a quick break, but let's remind you that we're monitoring situations in Ikeja, Lagos, in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. There's apparently supposed to be an event at Eagle Square for the Police Day. We're monitoring the situation in River State with the protests asking that they bring back the governor of River State. We're monitoring the situation as well that is happening in Borno, and so many situations right now, as well as the Warri situation. At 12 o'clock, you'll have News Central now coming your way with the latest with all of these live events happening in Nigeria. Let's take a quick break because we shift gears. We need to change gears. It's a Monday morning. We change gears when we come back. Let's talk a little bit about News Central's journey and the journey to GOtv, channel 23. Stay with us.
You're still live with us on Jasiri. Do also join today's conversation via our social media platforms. We are at News Central Television. Now, Tolu did say we're shifting gears, and we definitely are. Today on Jasiri, we're turning the spotlight inward on the media powerhouse that brings you fearless journalism across Africa, News Central Television. From humble beginnings to being recognized as the fastest growing broadcast station at the 2024 Independence Awards. Amen to that. The journey has been nothing short of phenomenal, but it doesn't stop there. Now, News Central is expanding its reach and influence. Now we are available on GOtv, channel 23. And you fancy me, you can catch me there, bringing top-tier Nigerian and Pan-African content even closer to viewers across the continent. Now, what's behind the rapid growth? What makes News Central stand out in a crowded media landscape? And where do we go from here? Joining us is one of the brilliant minds behind the network's successful growth, Rosemary Egabor-Afolahan. News Central's Dynamic Director of Commercial and Communications. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And she's a woman.
No, I think almost half of our top management is.
Yeah.
So we walk the walk.
Yes.
We walk the talk.
And, and this is what happens when women take leadership.
Yes.
In case you don't know, I'm just putting it out there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Very happy to have
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much
And
for
I can't
having
imagine
me.
after all these years, this is Rosemary's first time.
I have been
Ah,
running
She's
away.
been running away. Today she couldn't run.
6 years I've been running away from camera. Yeah.
We're happy to have you, but
And
we'll
this is-
always ask
This is
everyone.
going to be the first of many, so get ready.
Yeah.
All right.
That is
So
chocolate.
let's dive into the story, the strategy, and the vision that drives News Central forward. And I want us to start with the big picture, which is the journey of News Central. So, Rosemary, what was the original vision of the network, and how has that evolved over the years?
Okay, in 2018, we launched New Central Media Limited, and the original vision, which is still the vision, was for us to be the most respected media brand in Africa. You know, we're doing that by ensuring we do it through creativity, diversity, and technology. That's still the vision, but as we were pushing the brand upward and forward, we realized that for us to be the most respected media brand that we wanted to be, we needed to be a media platform that tells accurate stories. We needed to be a media platform that gives those who are unheard to be able to speak on our platform. We needed to be a media platform that practices true journalism, you know, do the true work of journalism, unravel, investigate, hold those in power accountable. And we've been doing that for so many years. We've been doing that for so many years. And if you look at it now, we're becoming respected. I mean, look at the comments on social media. People are praising us, people are motivating us, people are also warning us. They are warning us, don't change, don't change, we're watching you guys, don't change. And it's quite exciting. And this is us in 2018, 2019, we launched our YouTube Live. And now this is News Central. We're launched on DSTV channel 422, one of the few stations broadcasting to about 42 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, on DSTV 422, on GOtv channel 23, on StarTimes on 274. You can also find us on Moplex TV and Avo TV. I mean, this was just a brand where we started with tables and chairs. Tulu was there from the beginning. I remember when we launched our YouTube Live, we were quite excited, and this is us growing. And we're also thinking about, you know, expanding into new markets as well. So it's just the beginning for News Central.
Yeah, I enjoy, at least for a while, I was looking at News Central from the outside view. I was looking at through the lens of the director of programs, who is my friend. I will look at News Central through her eyes over the years from inception, and I can really say yes to the growth that I see. Recently, News Central just received the title of fastest growing broadcast station at the 2024 Independence Awards. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Because that's quite a feat, I have to say. What do you believe, you know, fueled this incredible growth? Is it the people? Is it the management style? What is it?
So I will say that it's a combination of both, but most importantly, the people. I mean, we can have all these great ideas, but we need the people to drive these ideas. News Central, we've gone through a lot, you know. COVID came.
A lot has gone through us.
You know, and it seemed like things were not going to work, but the passionate people that we have has been what has kept this brand going forward. You know, the management team, I mean, we never gave up. Resilience, focus, aggression, we must get it done. And for the fact that we knew that, you know, there's a major gap in the media industry, not just in Nigeria and Africa, to provide accurate stories, not bringing forward propaganda. We were so determined and passionate that we wanted to change and revolutionize the media space, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. So I think that just kept pushing us forward, And I think we're still going to keep pushing forward and pushing forward. So we will take over not just Nigeria, but Africa at large.
Yes, that's the spirit.
I feel Amazon's talking. I can feel the fire.
That's the spirit.
So we've gone through milestones. I remember the day we launched on YouTube, I slept overnight in the office. There's a picture floating around somewhere of me and the director of corporate services under a blanket waiting for 12 midnight when we're going to launch. And when you look at the trajectory, we've seen all these milestones, but now we've hit another milestone this year, which is, of course, the major move of launching on GOtv. And I'll tell you, because I understand behind the scenes, this woman right here, she's a force. Like if you like, she's a force. She pulled that launch. I don't know from where, but from somewhere. So GOtv is a brand and it's a platform, and it has its audience. It has its differences from all the other platforms we're also on as well. But in terms of the decision to launch on GOtv and why now seemed to be the right time, take them through that. I mean, I already know.
It has always been part of the business plan to launch on GOtv. But hey, News Central, we provide quality news, fearless reporting, like no other TV station is doing. We don't want that to just be accessible to a selected few people. Quality news should be accessible to everybody. Whether it is the A class, the B class, the C class, the D class, even the vulcanizer should have access to quality news. And launching on GOtv gives us that. It gives us access to everyone. If we're saying we're the fourth estate of the realm and we want to bring about change, how can we bring about change when we don't have our news accessible to all? So that was one reason why we said we needed to go on GOtv. Of course, there was a massive demand for us to go on GOtv on social media. Everyone was saying, you need to go on GOtv, you need to go on GOtv. Yeah, the social media space, yeah, the audience is there, but people still wanted News Central to go on GOtv. Yeah. So there was pressure. So you asked for it, and now you've gotten it. We're on GOtv channel 23.
Everybody can access GOtv.
Yeah,
the money is
the subscription is small, you know. And then, of course, from the business side of things, the agencies, the corporate organizations wanted more value. Yeah. And GOtv was one of those values that we needed to give to them. Yeah, so thankfully, we're now on GOtv.
It's a good thing. It's a good blessings. Where are you?
Where are you? Basking. But I mean, generally, I would like to know what the benefits are of launching on GOtv, aside reaching a wider, I mean, and that's like the most important thing, reaching a wider audience. But in terms of for our network and for the audiences across Africa, what are the benefits of having, you know, News Central on GOtv?
Okay, so GOtv is majorly for Nigeria because we know that Nigeria, yeah, we're a Pan-African station. We're going to enter into several markets in Africa, but we know that Nigeria is our primary target market. Now, you can't be a broadcast organization without the eyeballs. The eyeballs is the whole reason why we're here. That's the business of media, eyeballs. And that was why we needed to launch on GOtv. And that's the benefit to us as a TV station. We need the eyeballs to do business. I mean, you guys do the content thing. We are in the business of making money. And if we need to make money, we need to be on as much platforms as we need to be on. And for the audience, I mean, it gives them the opportunity to have access to News Central, have access to quality news. And that's what's lacking in the media space. And that's what we're giving, and we'll keep giving and giving. If we have to launch on more platforms, trust me, we will be launching on more platforms and entering into more markets. South Africa is coming. We have Bongani Siziba doing her thing in South Africa. We're going to be entering into various markets, Ghana, Cameroon. So
East Africa.
We're coming.
Yeah, we're coming. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into this conversation. You know, funny enough, we're getting to know the co-host of Jasiri a little bit more. Today, we're getting to know a little bit more about News Central. A little bit more after the break.
Yeah.
She's so happy. Yeah.
Welcome back to Jasiri. From bold headlines to powerful storytelling, News Central has become a force to be reckoned with in the African media, and its growth has been nothing short of extraordinary. But behind every big movement, the impactful stories, the expanded reach, and now the major leap onto GOtv, there is strategy, wisdom, and, you know, a lot of hard work at the back of everything. So News Central's Director of Communication, of Commercial and Communication, Rosemary Egabor-Afolahan, has been talking to us. He's been taking us through the station's journey and decision to launch on GOtv. So, Rosemary, there's a growing demand for African stories told from an African perspective. How does News Central deliver on this promise? And what sets, you know, the channel apart from others? Because everybody will say, okay, everybody is in the business of new media. So what sets us apart? Are we telling African stories the way we want it told?
Yeah. So News Central was built on the fact that we needed a station to tell the African story from an African perspective. because the international media over the years has been telling our stories for us, and they tell it in their own way. So we also built News Central on the fact that we needed to change that. Now, what we do on a daily basis, yes, negative stories come out of Africa, but guess what? We also have positive stories coming out of Africa.
Yeah.
And if no one is going to tell those stories, trust me, News Central, we will tell those stories. Sometimes when I go on my presentations, I tell my clients that News Central, we are the PR managers of Africa. Because the truth is that the international countries, they will sell their countries in a way that it's so appealing. But we Africans, we like to sell the downside of Africa. So News Central, we will be fair and balanced in telling you these are the unfortunate, truthful things about Africa, but we're also going to tell you the good things and great things that are happening in Africa as well. And we do that through our news reporting. We do that through our programs. I'm sure on GOtv here, you guys just don't talk about Nigeria, but you also talk about African stories as well. You also go into South Africa, you know. We're always at the forefront of African conferences. We're like special partners to the African Energy Week. You should have seen our performance last year. We killed it, you know. Absolutely. So we are telling those African stories through our news, through our programs, even through our promotions and our campaigns on News Central TV. So yeah, we'll keep on telling that. At News Central, we are expanding, like I said, into several countries. And you would see that we have stringers and reporters in different parts of Africa. Our staff, we're not just Nigerians. You have Kenyans in News Central. You have Cameroonians. Kathleen, our Cameroonian sister, was on your show a few weeks ago, because we know that for you to tell the true story about Cameroon, it's sometimes better to hear it from a Cameroonian. If you want to tell the true story about Kenya, you probably want to hear it more from a Kenyan, because it's become more relatable to their people. So we're full of diversity at News Central. So in terms of telling the African story, we are at the forefront of it. I will keep on being at the forefront of it.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, you speak with so much passion, and we see the level of creativity that has been deployed. You're not the creative department, but we can as well call you the creative department, because there's a lot of creativity. But my question is, in an increasingly competitive media space, how do you manage to stay innovative commercially and creatively, which births these amazing ideas that we see?
Okay. So in my department, commercial and communications, I tell my people, we are not selling inventory. We are not selling advert slots. We are selling pure, true journalism. We are selling fearless reporting. I come from a background of banking, oil and gas, telecommunications. So we've always known that it's not just about pricing, about transaction. It's about bringing forward value. And that's why you see that the commercial department at News Central, we're working side by side with news, we're working side by side with programs. Because marketing of today is not like marketing of back in the days where you bring a product and you just say sell. But here at News Central, we do a lot of market insights, we do a lot of consumer and audience insights. So we in the commercial department, we would then go to news and programs to say, hey, this is what the market wants. And that's creativity. And I don't know of any TV station that does that. Most TV stations just sell inventory. Give me MPO, come and drop it. But here we want to help you provide solutions to your campaign problems. So at News Central, we provide our platform where you can do 360-degree integrated marketing to solve your campaign problems, using News Central as a platform for TV and for digital.
Wow. I wish I was your customer. I was just going to buy from
You would have given us everything.
Sign the check, give Rosemary all the money.
So let's talk behind the scenes a little bit, because there's a lot.
A lot.
Behind the scenes. And it's so interesting, because that's why I'm not talking so much, because I'm there with her, you know. And there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that doesn't make it to the front, but impacts what comes to the front. So Rosemary, let's talk about like a milestone moment or behind the scenes moment that you think really exemplifies the News Central spirit. And you said something earlier about our people. If we didn't have the people we've had people who've made sacrifices for this company, who are resilient. You ask them we might tell them I need an inch, and then come back and we take a foot, and they deliver on 3 feet, you know. We've really been blessed in that regard with the kind of staff that we have. So in terms of a milestone moment or something behind the scenes that really exemplifies for you the News Central spirit.
I would say the End Bad Governance protest. Our performance during the End Bad Governance protest. Unfortunately, we did really well during the NSAS protest, but We were not launched on DSTV. We were still a growing brand on YouTube.
Yeah.
We did more than every
One of the
TV
best
station.
trending videos from the protest was from New Central.
Was from New Central. Yeah. People kept on removing our logos and putting their logos there. We did more than every other TV station did, but people didn't really know us then because we were a young brand and we were still coming up. But guess what? End Bad Governance protest came and we killed it. We just didn't fearlessly report the stories. We fearlessly stayed on the stories.
Yeah.
Our reporters were everywhere. Bernard Akede was even... Bernard, sorry. was harassed. Our reporters were harassed all over the place. But guess what? They didn't stop. They kept pushing because we believe that we owe it as a responsibility to our society to provide stories, to provide accurate stories. And that's what... And that moment, I mean, I think it also helped us in the business space because the agencies were like, wow, so this is what you've been saying. And that kind of like opened doors for us,
You should be asking everybody for their milestone moment.
I wanted to actually go ahead. What's your milestone moment?
That's the lady that reported when the building collapsed in Lagos Island. It was fearless reporting. I always have good people.
Do you have one blessings?
I think it's going to be the tear. I wasn't in New Central, but I think it was the tear gas moment with Bernard. Bernard is always collecting tear gas. So I think the first one ever I saw it, and it was like, keep reporting, I'm like, who are these people? It was just amazing to see.
And not just with the reporters, the cameramen.
Yes.
Everyone in New Central, the producers, the guys at the back end, they don't really get enough credit.
Yeah.
But without the guys at the back end, front end can't happen. So the guys at the front end, the producers, the reporters, everyone.
It's really beautiful to listen. But
it's beautiful to see. Like I watch the reports sometimes on the live coverage, even the ones we have going on right now, and I'm
I can't see Tolu's head today when Sagir was doing something great.
I'm exceedingly proud of the team that I work with. Exceedingly.
All right, now that we know that, okay, you guys have done great in the past, what is the new direction? At the end, because now that we're on GOtv, larger like me, I'm expecting a content that's going to feed my people.
Yes.
When my mother is like, "Joy bang be do central see, how much gbogbo àwọn kini to ma some pigeon is see." Are there going to be new marketing strategies, content directions, collaborations? That everybody will know that New Central is partnering with everyone and is reaching everybody possible.
And Rosemary, as it happens with our guests, we don't have any more time. So quick answer.
Okay, so thank you. So, I mean, from today, you're going to keep seeing our campaigns all over, not just in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja as well. And of course, we're going to be churning out fresh content that appeal to also the C and the D class, because they are the reasons why we launched on GOtv. And of course, we're going to be doing so many collaborations. Independent producers keep coming to us. We will screen through your ideas and see if there are areas that we can collaborate. So we're going to keep coming up with fresh content, and of course, like I said earlier, entering fresh markets as well.
All right. Well,
we'll have
to end it there. Thank you so much, Rosemary Egabor-Afolahan, for joining us. That is New Central's dynamic and very strategic director of commercial and communications. Now, we're wrapping things up, but just to tell you, we are hearing that police in Port Harcourt have also now used tear gas along Aba Road as residents have assembled for the planned Bring Back Sim and Take It Back movement marches. As I said earlier, 12 p.m. West African time, New Central Now is going to have all the latest information from what is happening across the country for you. Now, as we shine the spotlight on New Central's progress, we're reminded that growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes vision, grit, and the courage to keep pushing boundaries. And that's exactly what Jasiri is about, what New Central is about, having the conversations that matter while staying rooted in the stories and people shaping our world. Now, whether it's the newsroom or the streets, one thing is clear: the future is unfolding in real time, and we're here for every single twist and turn. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Once again, we are on GOtv, channel 23. And trust us to give you exactly what we promised. We do this again tomorrow, same time, same place. Stay brave, stay curious. This is just 2, 3, 2.